So Terence Crawford officially vacates the WBA at the 154-pound division. That means that the interim champ Abbas Barrow, which is 17-1-9, has now been elevated to full champion status. Okay, and let me counterpunch. That tells me that Terence Crawford has done one of the smartest things that I think he could ever do. You know, he's allowing his body to fully, properly acclimate at 168 or away from 154, because there's nothing really at 154 bigger than what he already done at 168. You see what I mean? He took out the cash cow, Canelo Alvarez, an elite world legend, walking, living, and breathing. All right. So there's no need to go to 154 to prove anything to anybody. Now he could go to 160 if he wanted to, but then, you know, I think now all eyes are on Terence Crawford. And the next question you ask yourself is, what is he going to do at 168? Because he's the champ there now. Unless he has an idea to fight Canelo again for a whole trough more of money, which, you know, would be good for him. But then people have already seen him beat Canelo, you know, decisively, right? So I do think that's a good idea, you know, because one thing we learned from Roy Jones Jr., Roy Jones tried to cover every land and be in every division and try the old school, but it didn't work like that. And even Antonio Tarver himself said, well, look, the best, if I would have fought Roy earlier, I don't know if that would have been the same outcome. I don't know if I've won, just keeping it real. And I think we learn, and I think fighters learn from the mistakes that other legends like Roy Jones made. And Roy Jones made a mistake, and I'm glad that Terence Crawford's not going down that same road, because that was my only problem. Okay, what happens if you beat Canelo? Then you try to go back to 154, and then it don't feel the same. You know, you have to strip weight at that age. You know what I mean? Your body has now, you have to strip everything that you've built up at 168 to come back to 154, right? And you don't feel the same. The power's not there because you flip-flop. You're like Andy Ruiz, losing too much weight too fast, and you don't have the energy because your body's not adjusted to the weight you're trying to move from. But guess what? What weight is that? So your body is going topsy-turvy because it's not sure what you're trying to do. Meanwhile, the fluids are off, the fat, the muscle, and all that, you know, it's out of whack. So we don't need that from Terence Crawford, and I'm glad that he's doing that. So it is a challenge to see what he's going to do. You know, is he going to retire, or is he going to take on these guys like Lester Martinez or Christian Mbili, or, you know what I mean, or even Hamza Saras? There's a lot of fights that could happen. Demetrius Andrade called him out. Like, where the hell has he been? So we have a lot of people that he could fight. A lot. You know what I mean? And I think that was a right move. There was nothing for him to prove at 154. Anyhow, you guys tell me what you think of Terence Crawford officially vacating the 154-pound division on the WBA end. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!